Okay, today using Cisco's Packet Tracer program, available from Cisco Academy, we are going to learn how to observe web requests. We're going to be viewing client and server traffic sent from a PC to a web server. Okay, so first we have to make sure that we can get a piece of information from our external client to our web server. Our external client is way over here, and our web server is way over here. In between there are these switches and the internet. The green dots, which are flashing, mean that everything's working correctly. So we're going to click here on our external client, and we don't need to configure it because it's already been configured. So we're going to go to Desktop, Command Prompt, and then we are going to ping this address. We are pinging Cisco LearnWeb.com. Now you could put an address in here if you had the address. Now let's see if this works. So it has automatically changed it for you right here into the web address. And it sent it out. The first request timed out. So let's try this again. Whoop, if I can type Cisco Learn .web. Whoop, Cisco Learn. This is where you have to be really careful about how you type. And you type it. Okay, so it looks like it's going through this time. 4 packets sent, 4 packets received. Connectivity to the server is fine. So we are going to close the command prompt window. But we're not going to click out of here because the next thing we want is the web browser. And we click into the web browser and oops, we are going to type Cisco LearnWeb.com. And here is our web page that it brings us to. We are going to leave this page open because this is a pretty blank page, just gives us some information, but we want to look at the HTML code, the code that actually shows us some pretty cool information. So we're going to click this down here where we want to click here to open up a second page. So here was our external client. And we're going to click the config tab, and then over here all sorts of cool stuff. We want to go to HTTP and see here's all information written in web speak. If you were making a web page, this is the speak that you would use, the BRs and the B and all of that. This is all things that this is what the computer sees when it pulls up a web page. We don't see it, unless of course we know how to get to it. So we're going to look at that. And now here's the external client. Here's what we see versus what the computer sees. Much nicer, our way of looking at things. We're going to close both of those so we see that they're both the exact same. You could get at the page both ways and you could look at it from both ways. Now we want to create a simulation, and we are going to use we're actually going to do something a little strange here. We're going to click this simulation tab. We are going to double click it to try and unlock it. I'm going to close the event list. I always forget that one. Okay. We are going to create a complex PDU. There we go. We are going to edit our filters. We want only HTTP, I believe. Oh no, we want both TCP and HTTP. So there's HTTP and there's TCP. We're just totally cool there. Alright, let's see, we are creating a complex. This will be the source. Okay. I'm also going to pull up the event list here. Here's the event list. Our filters are fine. So there's the external client. PDU settings, we want it to be the HTTP. We are going to have a port, source port of 1000. And under simulation settings, oops, drag my little page up here. We want it periodic at 120 seconds. And then we're going to create the PDU. Oops, I forgot one little step. We want to click there, that is our destination. And we're going to create the PDU. And there we go. You can see that if I was to pull up my event list here, it's a different color. There's purple down here and green here. So we're going to watch this as it goes through. And now this will keep playing until the buffer gets full, which is 3-4 minutes. So we're not going to wait for everything. We could look at any of these events. So You could look at the individual items, but we could look at any of these events. And see what all was going on with them. They're pretty interesting. But we could just continue to let this run. There is nothing wrong with our. It says it's all successful down here. Come to our event list and it's still going. And just keep going and keeps going and keeps going. And it just does its job. And that's how you observe web requests. I hope this was helpful.